Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. If I'm being 100% honest, I feel like I have seen all of it when it comes to sports, man. As you guys know by now, Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving are both staying with the Brooklyn Nets. Literally the biggest story of the offseason has been these two in the entire organization, and it's just all going to remain the same. And to be quite honest, from a basketball standpoint, I actually kind of love it. I actually think when it comes down to it, the asking price for guys like Kevin Durant were so ridiculously high that if he would have got traded to a different team, for one, you're not going to get like equal talent back of Kevin Durant. So I think the Nets would have ended up being a worse team. But I also think based off the asking price, the team Kevin Durant would have went to would have ended up being a worse team. I mean, we saw with Carmelo Anthony years ago on the New York Knicks, like trading away your entire franchise for one superstar player. It's not really the move, man. So now, what do we get? Well, we go into next season getting to watch a team of Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and Ben Simmons. And guess what? It was never, it was never a concern of talent. It was a concern of, chemistry and just egos and stuff like that. If those three players can put that aside, we very well could see the Brooklyn Nets win an NBA championship. If you don't think that Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and Ben Simmons can win a championship despite, what your negative mindset is on them now, then it's not about basketball. Okay, I understand the off-the-court things, but this team is going to be dominant if they can figure out the extra stuff on the side, man. So let's go ahead, hop over to some NBA 2K22, because, I really wanted to see, really not, for one, the full-on roster, but also the lineup that we should run. All those things are to be considered now. Now, in all reality, I think by doing this type of situation that the Nets kind of put themselves in, maybe they did prevent themselves from maybe getting other types of, like, free agents and stuff like that. But also, when you just look at the roster up and down, with the exception of maybe a few changes, the team's in a pretty damn good place from a talent standpoint, right? So you obviously got KD, you got Kyrie, you got Ben Simmons. Let's not forget TJ Warren. I don't know what his role exactly will be with the team now. I kind of thought he was signed to kind of be a backup plan just in case KD was not coming back. But even with that, I mean, he is coming off some pretty serious injuries going back to the bubble days. So whether he starts or is a scoring six-man off the bench, maybe like a Marcus Morris type of three-level score, I think you're in a really good place with that. Got Seth Curry's one of the best shooters in the NBA. You got Nicholas Claxton. Thank God he came back to the team, because from a traditional type of center standpoint, he really is all they have there. So that could, I would say the center position is definitely something to be a little concerned about. But I think there's enough, height on this team, positionless basketball, stuff like that I think they'll be in a good place. You got Joe Harris, he's coming back from injuries. I know his name's been like trade talks, and very well he's somebody that could still be traded to bring in that depth. I mean, who says that you can't toss in Joe Harris, maybe a Cam Thomas, or if you just want to do Joe Harris and a first round pick or two first round picks and go for like a Miles Turner or somebody like that to kind of fill out that center position with a 3-and-D type of player. I still think that's a very realistic possibility for this team, because like I said, when you have Seth Curry and TJ Warren, you have those shooters on lockdown. Even Cam Thomas, what I think he could do next season, given the appropriate shot selection, I think Joe Harris is very tradable. I mean, even Royce Neal, you got him on the team now too and everything. So I think there's some really good possibilities here. So as far as the lineup, I think they should run this season based off of what they have. Man, there's so many different ways to look at it. Like, off the top, this ain't so bad. Ben Simmons at that 3 spot, kind of being like a point forward. You got the shooters in the backcourt. You got KD at the 4. You got Nicholas Claxton at the 5. I think the thing that makes me a little bit nervous about this lineup, though, is that, Ben Simmons obviously is not stretching the floor. He's not going to be guarded on the 3-point. He's just not going to until he proves he can start shooting the threes and stuff like that. So, there was spacing issues on the 76ers, and that was having one of the most talented, offensive centers of all time in Joel Embiid. So, I mean, can you have Ben Simmons with his limited offensive impact on the court with Nicholas Claxton, or is that just simply not going to work? I mean, I'm sure there was times we saw guys like Ben Simmons playing with, Andre Drummond and stuff like that, but I guess no. Did we see that? My memory's starting to leave me, man. Yeah, we didn't really see Ben Simmons. It's been a minute since we've actually seen him and stuff, but regardless. So, it's not a bad lineup. I think if Clags can maybe give himself a little bit of a corner 3, that would kind of help out a bit. I would say one of the more like intriguing lineups I would like to see run would be something like this. You have Ben Simmons at the center position, which I think he can play. He's one of the best defensive players in the NBA. Sure, it's a different type of defense he'd be playing, going against centers and stuff like that. But I mean, he's 6'11", 7 foot. He can definitely handle that. And then you can probably pull like TJ Warren at the 3 spot. So you run it through Ben Simmons, surround him with shooters. I think that's a good place to be at. Or you could even, maybe replace out TJ Warren if you're kind of, maybe you want to use him as like a scoring 6-man off the bench. Then all of a sudden you put Joe Harris in there. Royce O'Neal, a good 3-and-D type of dude. If you do have Ben Simmons at center with KD at the 4, then having the additional grit and grind of Royce O'Neal definitely would be really sought out. Or really Joe Harris right here. Maybe you put TJ Warren at the 3 spot, something like that, just to have that additional height on the team. I think that would help out a lot. That kind of reminds me of a lot of maybe, like the Toronto Raptors. I feel like the Toronto Raptors, they have a lot of like 6'8", 6'9" dudes on their team, and they're good because of it, right, man? So, but I would say my optimal lineup that I personally want to run in this simulation is, let's put Seth Curry at the 2 spot, and let's go Joe Harris at the 3. And then we'll have TJ as a 6-man off the bench. Claxton, backup center, can play a lot of minutes also. Summers is pretty cool, but let's give some minutes out here. I actually really want to, Royce O'Neal definitely got to get some minutes. We'll get him at probably about 15 a game. And then we'll toss the rest of the minutes here. Let's go with Patty Mills. I know he's listed as a 73 overall, but he'll still be completely fine getting. He really should be like, I would probably say like a 76, 77. Like Patty Mills is still a really good point guard in my opinion. And this is kind of what we'll go with, man. So yeah, we'll bump out these minutes a little bit, get some more to Joe Harris. And I think that's a really good lineup. So as far as the system proficiency, you got a 4-star perimeter centric team running through Ben Simmons. You got everybody else out there, as shooters. I do want to see real quick here, though. I want to look at the trade finder. I want to see, if you were to give up Joe Harris in a trade and maybe a 1st-round draft pick, what exactly would that be looking like? Maybe we could get that. Oh, Brook Lopez. See, I actually don't hate that. They got Bobby Portis on the Bucks already, but you bring Brook Lopez back to the team to be that starting center. Honestly, not the worst thing in the world. You maybe go for like an Al Horford. I think he'd be pretty perfect on the team, but I think this is kind of stuff that would happen maybe around the trade deadline, where it's like, okay, things aren't working out, so maybe all of a sudden you do trade Kyrie for Russell Westbrook and DH. No, I would never do that. I'm still never doing that, man. I'm just joking on that. Yeah, nothing else. I mean, Kelly Olynyk would be kind of cool. Add some more shooting to the team. There's moves to be made here if needed. I just don't want to like assume or speculate too much. I want to go based off the lineup we have. So, guys, let's go ahead and simulate this NBA season. That we could have done months ago. We could have done this months ago, just a basic Brooklyn Nets simulation with their current team. But hey, this is what it's going to be, man. So let's go ahead and see what happens. Okay, guys, end of the regular season. So 4th place in the Eastern Conference. I think that's pretty realistic, to be honest, just based off of like talent alone. Obviously, some of the better teams in the Eastern Conference, or some of the equal talented teams, they're going to have better team chemistry and things like that, which can be the difference maker over the course of an 82-game season. So yeah, a final record of 50-31. I think if healthy, this team definitely is good for 50 wins. Damn, Luka, 40, 11, and 10. There's Andre Drummond, man. We're just talking about you like 10 minutes ago. We got All-NBA first with Kyrie making that. All-NBA second. Okay, Kevin Durant and Ben Simmons. Okay, so, and then we also got all defensive teams with no Ben Simmons, but he was kind of playing out of position, so that is completely fine. So let's go to the player stats on the season. Y'all check out that 1st-round matchup against the Boston Celtics. Obviously, we know how that went last time around, but different circumstance. So Kyrie dropping 34, 5, and 7. Damn, I was not expecting. I mean, I guess it makes sense, though, having Ben Simmons out there, that's going to be more shooting opportunities for Kyrie Irving, which is not a bad thing. I think Ben Simmons fits better next to Kyrie and Kevin Durant than James Harden does, so that's kind of what I've been thinking about. But overall, man, TJ Warren, 15 points off the bench. You got Ben Simmons at the, 14, 15 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists, 2 steals. If he's doing that, absolutely deadly. And then obviously, we got KD at the 26, 8, and 5. Pretty damn dangerous team. Not a team I would want to see in the 1st round of the playoffs, even if the team did get swept last year. But like I said, different circumstance. 1st round, simulate round, see how this goes. And, hey, man, there we go. 4 games to 0. We got them. 31-11 for Kyrie, 23-9-4 for KD, 19-6-9 for Ben Simmons. Next up, we got the Miami #1 seed. See if we can get past them. And, 7-game series, but we get to that Eastern Conference Finals behind 34 points and 32 from Kyrie Irving. All right, Brooklyn Nets, simulate rounds, and got them 4 games to 2. We are in the NBA Finals. Kevin Durant against Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and the Golden State Warriors. Definitely would love seeing that matchup. But let's see if we can get that championship. Simulate rounds. And there we have it, man. I would say, despite all the noise, from a basketball standpoint, it kind of worked out. And yeah, man, if you can get beyond that, just beyond the noise, beyond the drama, which this team really needs to do, they're going to be in a good place. Guys, that's all we have for this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and peace out, my friends.